Hello YouTube, I'm back for Tip Tuesday. But before we get into the tips, I wanted to give my relationship story of the day. And as we say that, the man himself joins. Oh my gosh, JChill733, we were just talking about you. That's insane. What are the odds? We were just talking about you. Basically, Heyy ships us together because our duets are so good, which I will say, our duets are iconic. We need to do another one. Ooh, I'm going to duet you today. We need to do another one. Our duets are iconic. They're my favorite things ever. I thought the one we did, the really good one, when it was like the boyfriend and girlfriend one, where it was like boyfriend, girlfriend eventually, like that one, I thought that one was really good. Anyways, let's go to my next relationship story, which is a very exciting one. Because this is the relationship story that my type is about. I know, right? It's perfect timing. So, let's get into it. This one starts very similar to a lot of my other relationship stories, but basically what happened is I was at school and a new guy came. And I don't know about you, but for me, like whenever a new guy comes, I feel like I always kind of fall in love with him for some reason, because it's like, it's exciting, it's new, and like you're so used to being around the same guys all the time, and then a new guy comes and you're like, ooh, this is so fun, I love it. And so yes, a new guy came, and let me tell you something. He was, no pun intended, just my type. Like, he was just my type. He had everything I've been looking for. Like, I said you're what I've been looking for. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of my type puns. I'm sorry. I don't even mean to, but it's probably going to happen. But I was so excited because I just thought he was so cute. He was super tall. He was legit gorgeous. And I still feel he's gorgeous. Like, he's so attractive. That was so embarrassing that I just said that. But he was like so freaking cute. And so he came and I was so excited. And I knew his sister, and I was friends with his sister, and I loved his sister. And I became friends with his sister, and I was like, this is perfect. Oh my gosh, like this is legit meant to be. This is so exciting. And so I was like, so does he have abs? Well, I've never seen his abs, so I can't, so I don't know, but maybe, who knows? But anyway, so I was so excited. And I like talked to him a little bit because he was new, and I was like, hey, and like just tried to talk to him as much as possible. But it was, I tried to make a relationship last. And then I think the teacher really hooked me up because I was in science, chemistry, and hi, I have abs. Ooh, good for you. Nice, I see you. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you still know him? I haven't talked to him in like 2 years, so no. But yeah. Anyways, and so the teacher, because I left the school. I know, I always leave schools, it's sad. But so we got paired together for a science project. And I was so excited. I was like, I'd never been so excited, but I think I psyched myself out too much. And I was very like, this is my chance. This is my chance to make this happen. And so then the night that we got paired together for the science project, I went home and I wrote the song, My Type, because I was like, I want to know if we can make this happen. I was like, and I got too obsessed with him because I was like obsessed with him. Like I was really obsessed with him. I just thought he was so cute. I thought he was so gorgeous. I was like, we need to be together and get married, and we just have to be, like, I was like, it was kind of bad. Like, I shouldn't have. I was being crazy, and I was being too obsessive too. And I was so worried about everything that I would say around him because I just wanted him to like me so bad. And so, like we had to work outside of school on the science project, of course. So for about like 2 to 3 weeks, the best 2 to 3 weeks of my life, not gonna lie, the best 2 to 3 weeks of my life, we like would hang out. Well, we would like practice our like, because it was like chemistry, so it's like a lab type thing, if that makes sense. And so we would like practice our project and stuff. And so we did that, and we would try to get to know each other a lot. And I remember him talking about his dog, and he had like really cool style, and he was just really awesome. And then like we kind of started getting a little bit romantic. You were obsessed with every guy you had a crush on. Yeah, I mean that's kind of true. But then it started getting like kind of romantic, and it started getting like a little like, but then I felt like it got to the point where I was almost like trying too hard to be cool around him, if that makes sense. Like I feel like I wasn't really being myself, because he was kind of a bad boy, like a little bit of a bad boy. He was a pretty boy, I would say. And so I was kind of then like starting to try a little too hard. And so like I remember, here's the thing, I'm going to be super honest with you. Although so many people are going to make fun of me for like saying this and think it's really nerdy, but I just am a nerd. So like I don't cuss ever, ever. Well, I try to not cuss. And I remember he cussed like all the time. And when I was around him, you are going to think I'm so nerdy, but when I was around him, I said a bad word like twice, because like I thought he would think I was cool, because I thought he thought I was too like vanilla and too good girl. You know what I mean? And so I cussed 2 times around him. And then I remember I felt like really guilty afterwards. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that. Which I know. And I know I'm like such a nerd. But I don't do that often. And I especially, here's the thing. If I ever was to say a bad word, like I never say a bad word like just casually for fun. Like I never do that. Like just like if I do, it's because I'm like really upset. Like I never just say it for fun. Like I don't say bad words. I don't do that. And so then I got to the point where I was like, maybe this is kind of bad. Like what if he leads me down a bad path? Like this could be really bad for me. But, I just kept doing it. And then, so that 2 weeks, and then we were like getting kind of flirty, and it was fun. It was like very mutual, very fun. But like, I always felt like I wasn't totally myself, and I was always kind of awkward because like, I just kind of am. But yeah, and then it was the day of the science project. 3 weeks in the making, and I was so pumped, because it's like you have to give, it was the type of thing where you really have to give like a presentation. You had to give a total presentation. And so we did. We gave the presentation, and I remember, okay, so how you have some of those days that you just look better than others? Because I remember having a really good day, like face wise. That sounds so weird, but like I was having a good day. And then I tried way too hard. And I remember I like did my makeup. I spent like 30 minutes on my makeup to get my makeup perfect. And I wore this outfit to school. And I was like, oh, I thought I was so cool, because I wore a pleather skirt. I thought it was so fashionable. Like it was the cutest outfit I think I had at the time, but I thought it was so cute. I had like a pleather skirt on, this top that was like tweed and then had pleather here and here, so it was like matching, and black thigh-high boots. Like, I tried so hard to look hot, which honestly, that day, not gonna lie, I thought I did. Like, I thought I did. I was like feeling myself. That's so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassing. And so anyways, we did the project. And I'm trying to totally remember what happened. But I think it went pretty well. It did. And then, yeah, and it went well. And I was like, wow, it went well. This is awesome. But then nothing happened after that. So it's kind of sad. And then we never really talked again. And then I changed schools. So, not very interesting story. But I was obsessed with him. Like, it was embarrassing how obsessed I was with him. I remember it was like I went through a phase where I would literally look at his Instagram like 4 times a day. But I do want to use this as a cautionary tale. Even though I got an awesome song out of it, so I'm really happy that it happened. But the cautionary tale, since it's Tip Tuesday, I want to give you some tips. The cautionary tale that I think you can learn from the story. Number 1, don't do bad things to impress a guy. Because here's the thing. He wasn't interested in me back. And if anything, me trying to be like him and like doing the bad thing that I shouldn't have done, that I'm still like embarrassed that I did. And here's the thing. When I did it and when I said the bad word, it was like so awkward when I said it because I didn't say it naturally because I'd never said that word before. And so it was really embarrassing and just bad. And so number 1, don't do bad things to impress a guy. Never. Number 2, be yourself around a guy because here's the thing. Like, it's like I didn't even really give it a chance to work because who knows, maybe if I had actually been myself, he'd like me. But because I was so awkward and not myself and just wanting to impress him and so immature, it just didn't work. Number 3, don't be too obsessed with a guy. Like, I know, or a girl. But like, I know it's really fun to have a crush and you can get too into it, but don't be obsessed with them. You know what I mean? Like, just don't. You don't need to be. It can be really embarrassing. And also, it's just, you don't want to put your self-worth in somebody. And it's so hard because it makes you feel a little bit insecure because you're putting so much emphasis on them liking you. But it's so much more powerful when you don't look for approval from other people. So I think that's what you can learn from that story. But that story's a little bit of a disaster. But that's what happened. And he did not like me back. So it was actually pretty cringy. It was really cringy. And here's the thing. He was also younger than me, which is really weird because I never date people younger than me. Never. That was embarrassing. That was a bad time. I'm so glad I'm not back there, although that outfit was like fire. That was the most fire outfit that I remember walking in that day and being like, it was embarrassing though, but you live and you learn. Anyway, since it is Tip Tuesday, I'm going to give you lots of relationship advice if you want it, but I am also going to do a little red lip tutorial because I love red lips. It's my favorite thing ever. And I'm putting on my lipstick a new way now. Because here's the thing. I was always really bad at lipstick because I always I always just tried way too hard and would put too much on. But now here's the thing. What I'm doing is I'm using a little brush for it. So it really fits my lips. Did you see my newest Heyy story? No, I didn't. It's almost as if all your relationship stories are not gonna lie straight up saying, yeah, I get obsessed with the guy and he doesn't like me. Yeah. Story of my life, not gonna lie. That is how a lot of them are. Yeah, but they're getting better. They're gonna get better soon. Some are gonna get better, right, soon. I'm trying to think of some of them. See, here's it. It's either this is what happens in my love life. Either I love the guy so much I'm obsessed with him, and he doesn't like me back. Or he actually likes me, and then I can't believe that he likes me, and I get scared, and then I sabotage it. That's what happens. Okay, so here we want to do a thin layer, and you want to get the whole. See, with lipstick, it's a balance of trying to get the whole lip, but also, I'm so bad at this, but also not. I don't like to overline it because I think if I overline it, it can look stupid, but you also want to get the whole lip, but you don't want to get outside. Heyy is so on and off because of her relationship with her dad. Oh, she learns soon that her boyfriend broke up and he is now against us. Heyy knows better too not to trust most boys. Yeah, you can't trust a lot of boys. You can't. That's so hilarious. I actually have a song coming out about how I don't trust boys this year. So that's actually really funny that you said that. I think you'll like that song. I think you'll love it. But you get awesome songs out of these disasters, lol. Yeah, they're all disasters. They are like disasters. And they're so cringy too. Okay. Caroline, I'm almost to 1,000 subs. Oh my gosh, Music and Belief, that's awesome. Oh, and then we gotta like clean this and make sure it's not anywhere. That's so awesome. Ooh, everybody should subscribe to Music and Belief so they get 1,000 subs because they're at 982 subscribers. So Pretend was my number one. Ooh, if you like Pretend, I think you're gonna like the Trust one. Pretend is one of my favorites too. I'm happy you like Pretend. Thank you for listening. You're always so sweet and so supportive. Did we do okay? It looks bad. Why can't I do it? Let's try to get it. Pretend is my favorite. Oh my gosh, really, Music and Belief? Thank you. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. I'm happy you like it. Okay. There's my red lip tutorial. I'm sorry, I'm bad at makeup. I tried. But I do think using the brush helps. So that's the little tip. That's the caveat. That's a word I'm really into right now. Caveat. You know, I think it's a funny word. I'm like really into it right now. I say it all the time. I say it like twice a day, at least. But the caveat is use a brush for your lipstick to put it on if you're bad at putting it on because it helps a lot. Like, a lot. Anyways, now let's get into what you all came here for, I feel, which is relationship advice. Ready? So I'm going to answer your relationship advice. Dr. Caroline is in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Can you do the Office music edit, please? Ooh, I don't know how to do that. Like in the lives? In what way? But I would love to do that. I would love to think about doing that. Okay. Relationship question number 1. How long is a crush supposed to last? This is a very interesting question because who really knows how long a crush is supposed to last? For me, I would say after about 6 months, I would move on. For me personally, because after 6 months, it's like you've just wasted too much time on them. And look, don't feel bad if you've had a crush for like 3 years because that one guy, the guy I fainted on who like dated my bully and it was really bad, I had a crush on him for like 3 freaking years. And like a lot of guys. And yeah, and then this guy who I talked about today, I probably had a crush on him for about 4 months. But like for me, I'm so glad I didn't waste any more than 4 months. So I would say just like know when to get over it. After 6 months, I would kind of maybe move on. But I mean, you can't help your feelings. It's really hard, like because it's so hard, because people always talk about controlling your feelings, but I'm always kind of like, how can I control my feelings? Because I can't really control how I feel. That's how I feel. 3 years and still crushing for me. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. It's hard. How do you talk to your crush? Okay, this is really hard. Here's some things that I used to do. Honestly, this is probably really bad advice. Look, I'm sorry. All my relationship advice is going to be so bad because my relationships have been terrible. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But here's what I used to do. At school, I used to make excuses to be outside of the class he was in. But I would make an excuse to be there. So I would always just try to make excuses or find a way. Or if I was going to the bathroom or whatever, I would use the way that I would walk to the bathroom would be the way I would walk past his locker. So maybe I could see him, or take the longer way to class of a way that his class was. That's so stalkery. But that was something that I would do. And also maybe you can find an excuse, if you have a class together, you can be or if you miss a day, maybe if you miss a day of school, and be maybe, oh, do you have the notes or something? Or sometimes if they're wearing something or just something that's a similar interest, let's say they're wearing a sports team jersey, like a Lakers jersey, and you like the Lakers, you can say, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love the Lakers too. But only do it if you actually like the Lakers, because or else it's basically what I did when I was trying to pretend when I was trying to just not be myself. So be yourself. She even passed out of the school last year. Oh my gosh, wait. Did she pass out like she fainted? Or did she pass out like she was so smart that she left? Disclaimer, follow these advice on your own risk. If your crush hates you after this, it's your own fault. I guess that's our disclaimer. Yes, my relationship advice disclaimer. Follow this advice on your own risk. If your crush hates you after this, it's your own fault. Thank you, over_900. I appreciate that disclaimer. How to make your crush like you. Okay, this is a hard one because who knows? But I think, number one, if your crush doesn't like you, no big deal. I know that it's hard, and I know that it's hurtful. Trust me. Basically, 99% of the crushes that I've ever had have not liked me back whatsoever. So I feel you. I understand. But you know what? If he doesn't like you back, it's just not meant to be. And if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And you'll find somebody better. And more importantly, you'll find somebody who you're compatible with. And compatibility is absolutely everything in a relationship. So really, you can pin it. I won't mind who I will pin it. So really, don't sweat it. I know it feels like the end of the world, but you'll find somebody better, And I know it's disappointing. But everything works out. Everything happens for a reason. I'm glad that the crushes that didn't like me, I'm glad they didn't like me back. The guy who I talked about, who I wrote Just My Type about, he was just my type, and I dreamed of him being my boyfriend, and I wanted him to be my boyfriend literally more than anything. But I'm honestly, looking back, I'm really happy that it didn't work out. I'm so happy that it didn't work out, because he was kind of a bad boy, and I think he could have gotten me down a wrong path. And what if I had been trying to impress him all the time, and then I probably never would have felt cool enough? Because what if he was doing these bad things, and then I was like, oh, I'm so not cool, and he doesn't think I'm cool, so I need to keep doing these bad things. And I could have gone down a really bad path. So it was actually a blessing in disguise. Things can be a blessing in disguise. But so be yourself. Just be yourself. How to get over a crush. How to get over a crush. That's a good question. I would say realize that nobody's perfect, because sometimes when you have a crush, you can really put them on a pedestal and act like they're perfect and be totally infatuated with them and act like, oh my gosh, they're perfect, nothing's wrong. Like, really take those crush blinders off and start to see them not as your crush that you're obsessed with and love so much, but see them as a human being. Like, that really helped me with one of my crushes, because I had this one crush for literally 10 years. Like, literally. From preschool to 8th grade, I had the same crush. And it was really bad. But then I finally got to the point where I didn't see them as the perfect person who, like, I was obsessed with. I started to see them as human beings. See, like, oh yeah, they have flaws. Oh, they're kind of controlling. They're not that good at communicating. They're not that nice of a person. I built them up to be something that they're not. I made an idea in my head of what I thought they were, but they're not. And that helps you get over them a lot. Because sometimes your friend has a crush and you're just like, him? Like, what do you see in them? So sometimes you can have those blinders on. How do I get more romantic with my girlfriend? Oof, that's hard. Well, this is hard for me to answer, but I'll try. Let's take a crack at it. You know what? Okay, I always say this, but I would say just do things that are personalized. Like, personalize it. Like, just because you want to be romantic doesn't mean you get red roses or whatever, or something cliche. Know your girlfriend and just be thoughtful. Be thoughtful for your girlfriend and what you think she'll like. Like, for example, if she has like a favorite music artist, maybe like next time you're on a date or hangout, you can play that music, or just like letting her pick the song in the car that plays, or letting her pick where you go to dinner for Valentine's Day can be romantic, and just being extra sweet and extra thoughtful. Or, like, let's say if she's having a bad day, maybe you could do something special for her, or just send her a text and be like, thinking of you. Also, I just think there's something really sweet about just like out of the blue texting somebody, I love you. And maybe if you're not at the I love you stage, because it's not that serious yet, you can just say, thinking of you. Or just, or like if you see something in a store that makes you think of them. Or like, like if you have an inside joke and then you see, like, let's say, for example, like, I have a boyfriend and we always watch The Voice together and it's our favorite show. And then while I'm driving, I see a billboard for The Voice. If I just take a picture of that and send it to him and be like, our favorite show, I cherish the times we watch The Voice together so much. I think that's sweet and I think that's romantic, personally. I have even started wearing more bras along with tights, which makes me more happy. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I'm so happy that you're getting happy and like feeling more comfortable. That's so special. Totally. And then, what are Valentine's Day date ideas? Valentine's Day date ideas. Let's see. Again, it's quarantine, so definitely do something, like don't go out to a party. But I think doing something intimate can be really fun. I think that it'd be really fun to do something at home. And I think just keeping it chill can be cool. Like, just, you can do dinner and a movie at home. I think that's cute. And also, there can be a lot of pressure on Valentine's Day, and I don't think you have to put too much pressure on your relationship on Valentine's Day, because it can be very stressful. But just doing something nice, just doing something a little special, but also intimate. Intimacy is good. Or like you can take a drive. Driving is always fun. Like, drive in the sunset. Or you could like drive in the sunset and do like a picnic in the sunset in a scenic area. I think that would be really cute. You could watch a romantic movie, that would be really cute. Or you could just talk, Like there's just something fun about having a boyfriend or girlfriend and just talking to them for like 3 hours about like anything in life and just in general. I think that's very sweet and cute. Personally, is it a good idea to confess to your crush? Good question. Personally, for me, I usually don't. But I would say you can, but if you're going to, I think number one, don't spring it on them. Like maybe give them some nonverbal cues before you confess your love to them. And also, I wouldn't do like a big movie thing where you like confess your love and it's like this huge like, Dorothy, I love you, maybe not like that. But I think you could like send nonverbal cues first, see if they respond, and make sure you're getting something that's kind of mutual or some indicators that they like you back before you like tell them I love you and I'm obsessed with you, like I think you wait, or I guess you wouldn't say I love you, but like, oh, I have a crush on you. So I would see if you get some non-verbal cues, maybe like some body language. See if like maybe talk to them first, like make sure you're kind of friends-ish first. But if you're flirting with them or like, you put your hand on their knee or something and they don't take it off, but just take it step by step and kind of have some mutual affection before. Hey, it's Annie Tumbles. Oh, thank you for joining. You're the best. What time is it for you? It's 11:07. Oh my gosh, it's 11:07 for you? That's crazy. PM? It's 3:07 for me. So, very different. But time zones are crazy. They really are. They're crazy how you work. How do you deal with the crush? Dealing with the crush is really hard. Not gonna lie. But again, I would say don't go crazy. Like, don't be too obsessed with them. Don't do it. And just like control yourself. And also, I think it's a good idea to ask yourself if you're like really obsessed with your crush, like I used to be. So, no shame if you are, because been there too. But if you're really obsessed, I would kind of look deep into yourself and be like, is there a bigger void in my life that I'm missing? Am I looking for validation in a guy or a girl instead of looking for validation in myself? Maybe I need to be more self-fulfilled, I would kind of do some inner reflecting for sure. It's 4 a.m. for you, over_900? Why are you awake? That's crazy. That's insane. It's 12 p.m. for me. I'm in bed. Oh my gosh. That's so late. You stay up late. I don't know how you do it. I really don't know. For me, like 10 o'clock, 9:30, I'm out. Like a light. I don't know how you do it. How do I get him to commit? So hard. Honestly, I don't think you can force it. I really don't. I think if he wants to commit, he will. And if he doesn't, let it go. Because it's like not worth it to try to get somebody to commit. And it also kind of has to be their, or him or her. It has to be their idea to commit, because, or else they might end up resenting you, or they might commit, but then like later they cheat on you or something. So I think it has to be their idea. You can't force it. You know what that means? My boyfriend is DMing his ex. What should I do? Oof. I haven't dealt with a problem like that in my life, but let me think. Boyfriend's DMing? Well, it depends. Like, does he know that you know? Did he tell you? But I think if he told you, I mean, I think you could ask why and then ask yourself how you feel about it, because obviously you might be fine with it and be like, that's okay. Or you may be like, that's not cool. If you're not cool, I would tell him that. I wouldn't be like too clingy about it, but I would just be like, why? What's the reason? What's the reason? Like, why? Are you just texting out of the blue? Was it a specific reason? How long are you texting? What are you texting about? Maybe just be honest. Communication is the key to a good relationship. So I'm told. Well, actually, it so is. If you can't communicate, here's the thing. I personally think if you can't communicate and you don't have trust, you have nothing. The relationship's toxic, and you shouldn't even be in it. Personally. Ooh, I feel like my girlfriend is prioritizing school over our relationship. What should I do? Well, this is a hard one for me because I tend to have that in my relationships too. I think definitely be honest with her and tell her how you feel, but also try to respect it, I would say, because it could just be like school's really, really important for her. Because, like, that could be really important. And so it's kind of nice to respect that because maybe she really wants to get into a good college and needs to put in that time in school, and try to not take it too personally because, it's school. School. Oh, my boyfriend cheated on me, but now he wants to get back together, and I don't know what to do. I'm going to say no. Here's the thing. I've been in a very similar situation. I've been in on and off relationships. I've taken people back after they've done things that have been really rude. And here's the thing. I feel like 99.9% of the time, they never change. And they take advantage and they do it again. And when they show you their true colors, believe them. Unless you think he's really changed. Like, I do think if you really, really think he's changed and it's different, then it could be worth a shot. It could be. But if he doesn't seem like, and also see through his actions, don't see through his words, because he can say, oh, I've changed and I'll never cheat on you again. But what you need to see is action. And I would say if he shows you action and through action he showed that he's changed, there can be forgiveness and possibly trust can be rebuilt. But if it's just words, it's empty, and I wouldn't do it. That's just me, though. The doctor's out. Oh, but I did have a couple other things to say, which was I thought I would go through all my songs since it's Tip Tuesday and give you a life lesson from every single song. And basically, I'm just going to say what I personally learned from that song and from writing. But you'll see. IG is way behind YouTube. Really? That's so weird. I always thought that YouTube was kind of behind IG, but it seems to not be. I'm starting my singing career in March. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. I'm so proud of you. And congratulations for going after your dream. That's so nice and so special and definitely always worth it. I think you should always go after your dreams. Oh my gosh, my phone is like not working. I can't look at the comments. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, let's do it. Life lessons from each of my songs. First of all, let's start with I Know Better and what I learned and what tip I can give from that song. So first, this is actually the relationship story that's coming tomorrow. But basically, I learned a similar thing to what I learned in the relationship that I talked about today, which is, here's the thing. Do not change yourself for a guy. And that's the tip from I Know Better. Like, don't change yourself for a guy. Don't try to fit in to make a guy like you. Be yourself and be true to yourself. I would say that's what I learned from I Know Better and from that experience. Because I know better, I know better. And then already there. Well, already there. I would say what I learned from that one is sometimes you need to take risk and not be scared, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because it's really easy to be scared to put yourself out there, and I don't like to put yourself out there. And even though you might get hurt in the process, and I've had an experience recently where I put myself out there and I really got hurt. But honestly, I don't regret putting myself out there, even though I did get really hurt, because at least I tried. And if I had never tried and I never put myself out there and I never opened myself up to the possibility of that relationship, I never would have known that it shouldn't work. And I always would have had that in the back of my mind. So no regrets. And sometimes you got to take that risk. Oh, hi, Emily Rube. Thank you for joining. And then on and off. What I learned from the experience of on and off is, honestly, if a relationship is on and off, it's probably not meant to be. Because here's the thing. I just feel like relationships should not be so hard. You shouldn't break up 13 times. It should not be that difficult. And if it's that difficult to make the relationship work, maybe the relationship just isn't supposed to work. So that's definitely what I learned from on and off. And then what I learned from, and my little tip from We Should Break Up. Whew. Oy vey. Oy vey. You should break up. I learned don't be afraid to cut somebody off, because cutting somebody off can be very difficult, and it can be hard because you can feel mean, but sometimes for your own sanity and for your own mental health and well-being and physical health too, you have to cut somebody off. Sometimes you have to. It's like fight or flight. There's no other option. You need the person out of your life if it gets to the point where you're toxic. So don't be scared of, like, maybe in the process being a little mean. Like, don't be mean, but don't be scared of cutting somebody off, because it can be so worth it. It can be so worth it. And then simple, what I learned from that experience of simple is I really learned don't judge other people because you're not in their situations. Because I think it's really easy to look at people's situations and be like, oh, they should leave them. Why haven't they left them? Why are they in that relationship? You know what I mean? But you never really know what's going on behind closed doors. So just don't judge other people and their life, because you're not in their shoes. And maybe if you were in their shoes, you would see it differently. Oh my gosh, happy birthday, Nora. I hope you have the best day in the world and just get to do all your favorite things and have a lot of fun and have a beautiful birthday. Thank you so much for joining, by the way. Can you play Among Us? Oh, I tried to play Among Us. I'm super bad, but I'll definitely try to do that on a live stream soon, for sure. And then what I learned from the experience of Against Us. What I learned from the experience of Against Us is you can't force situations. And if it's not meant to be, it's not going to work, and you just can't force it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You just can't. And then what I learned from the situation of pretend. Oh, what did I learn? That was terrible. That situation was so bad. I wish it never happened. Like, that was awful. Like, what I wrote pretend about was so bad. It was so freaking bad. Oh my gosh. It's like I can hardly even think about it. Yeah. No. What did I learn? I don't know. I kind of wish that experience never happened. I don't know if I learned anything from that situation. But I'll try to pull something out. What did I learn? Oh, here's what I learned. You can't change other people. You can't change them. Because this person, like, I really it was like I was just fighting so hard in the relationship for the person to see me as an equal, like so hard. And just, I kept wanting to change their opinion of me, but their opinion of me was their opinion of me, and it wasn't going to change. And I just wanted to change it so bad. And so it was like, when they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I think it was that. And I think it was trying to control somebody who couldn't be controlled, because you can't control other people. So just letting go the fact that you can't control other people. You should play the real Among Us instead of the Roblox one. Ooh, how do I do that? I'll try to. Is it like a .com, like amongus.com? I'll definitely try that. And then healthy. What I learned from the experience that healthy was about. Ooh, that was ugly. That was ugly. Here's what I think I learned. I think I learned that sometimes there can be two people in a relationship who are good people, but just there can be irreconcilable differences. Does that make sense? Like, you can, like, maybe the relationship should work and it would be great if it could work, but some just irreconcilable differences is a real thing. And just sometimes two people are like fire and ice and just shouldn't be around each other, and you can still love that person, but it's just better and healthier to love them from afar. And you can love somebody from afar and not be in a current relationship, and it can just be better to go your separate ways. But you don't have to be resentful and hateful and bitter, but just accept the fact and go your separate ways and irreconcilable differences, but still not carry that hate in your heart and let go the burden and just still love them from afar. I'll say that's what I learned from healthy, for sure. I don't want to pay to install it on my laptop, but I can do it for free on my phone. Okay, I'll do that option. Faux show. Because I'm cheap. I don't pay for things, That's how everybody is, And then last, my type. What I learned from my type. Well, I learned a lot of things from my type. But again, I learned, what I learned? Like, don't give up your sanity and your dignity for a guy. It's not worth it. Like, you don't need to embarrass yourself over a stupid guy and over a stupid crush. You just don't need to. It's not worth it. If he likes you, he'll like you, and it'll work out, but you don't need to force it. You don't need to be crazy, and you don't need to be so head over heels. Like, you just control yourself. Get that dignity and sanity, and also search in yourself and realize what's missing in you of why you're putting your self-worth on a guy. Because there's another reason, There's some insecurity there that needs to be addressed if you're that obsessed with somebody and looking for them to complete you, And complete yourself. Don't wait for somebody else to complete you. So that is what I learned. Life lessons from Caroline. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this live stream. I really hope you enjoyed Tip Tuesday. I had a lot of fun with this live, so thank you so much. I hope I gave you good advice. I tried my best. So thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And by the way, tomorrow is going to be a very fun day. It is going to be Wild Wednesday, and it's going to be wild. Anyways, bye BFF. I hope you have a glitterful day. And goodbye to you.